Newshour Special Edition.
Hello and welcome. Thank you very much for joining us here on Times Now. This is the Newshour Special Edition this Saturday evening, and I'm Heena Gambhir. Viewers, let's start with watching these scenes that unfolded at the Salt Lake Stadium in Kolkata today. Viewers, brand India suffered a blot today. The nation's efforts to present itself as a future-building demography led by evolved leadership have been consigned to a dustbin. No, not because of the poor and the powerless. The blame for tarnishing our nation's image can be pinned at the doors of those who occupy seats of power and influence. And why do I say this? Well, the 2022 Football World Cup winner and one of football's greatest ever players, Lionel Messi, is touring India. His first pit stop, justifiably, was football fanatic Kolkata. Nearly 4 billion odd people across the globe follow football, cutting across the lines of nationalities, religion and age. 500 million or 50 crore people follow this man on Instagram alone. A lot of them must be watching his India outings. But the end of the day, what this huge audience saw happening in India, our own Kolkata. Messi's Kolkata leg of the tour, viewers, began with him virtually unveiling a 70-foot statue of himself in Kolkata. Kolkata's Salt Lake Stadium, with 85,000 capacity, was choked with Messi fans. Fans had paid 12,000, 15,000 rupees for the tickets just to catch a glimpse of their god from the world of football. Some had travelled as far as 1,300 kilometers to do what? Take home lifelong memories of a glimpse and having waved at him. Then India and Kolkata was shamed. Messi arrived at the Salt Lake Stadium around 11:30 a.m. along with longtime strike partner and Argentinian teammate. His vehicle was parked close to the touchline. He initially walked around waving to fans. Then Messi, Messi chant started by a sea of fans wearing Argentinian jersey and I Love Messi headbands. And then, to the horror of the fans, Messi disappeared in a mob consisting of politicians, actors, officials, security men and organizers. Fans couldn't see him. The jostling on the turf got frenzied. Abruptly, Messi outing turned extremely messy. Fans lost their cool, some tried to breach the cordons and rush towards the star. His lap around the stadium was cancelled. Angry fans ripped up seats, threw chairs and bottles on the ground. They vandalized the property, invaded the pitch by demolishing the barricading. And then, this is what the fans of Lionel Messi said. Later, realizing that this will snowball into a controversy, the government ordered the arrest of Satadru Datta, the main organizer of the private event. An FIR was lodged. This triggered a political war of words. Since football is Bengal's top religion, West Bengal Chief Minister in a damage control exercise issued a formal apology. Mamata Banerjee said she was shocked by the mismanagement. She ordered an inquiry committee to probe the nightmarish turn of events. BJP, however, lashed out at the TMC for usurping the event. Listen in to the war of words.
पश्चिम बंगाल में आज जो घटना घटी वो दर्शाता है कि पश्चिम बंगाल में तृणमूल कांग्रेस ने तृणमूल कैसे पश्चिम बंगाल को बना दिया है। पश्चिम बंगाल में जो प्रोग्राम हो रहा है वो पूरा तृणमूल ने हाईजैक किया है। वैसे कि इसमें लूट हुई है, कालाबाजारी हुआ, इसमें करप्शन हुआ। मतलब तृणमूल कांग्रेस रहेगा और करप्शन नहीं होगा, ये तो हो नहीं सकता।
बंगाल का सरकार, इनका जो प्रशासनिक जो फ्रेमवर्क है उसमें कोई यार कंट्रोल सरकार का नहीं है। सरकार का कंट्रोल होता तो ऐसा स्थिति नहीं बनता। ये जो सरकार है और जो स्पोर्ट्स डिपार्टमेंट है खुद रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी लेना चाहिए।
पॉलिटिक्स तो भलचर करते हैं, कुछ वो लोग अभी घुस गए हैं, वो कलकत्ता को बदनाम करने का, वो कुछ इधर उधर क्वेश्चन उठाने का, मैलाइन करने का, ये सब शुरू कर दिया है। आप थोड़ा अपने गुस्से को कंट्रोल कीजिए। तो ये तो वो प्राइवेट एजेंट का रेस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है।
Viewers, the fans are angry. The hurt they feel is justified as they lost out while politicians tried to score a point. They want answers from ministers like this gentleman that you are now going to see on your screens. Trinamool Congress Minister Erupts Biswas. We're just going to get you his picture. He was seen glued to Messi, clicking pictures with him. He had even got his picture printed on the tickets, and I'm talking about the Minister of Sports in West Bengal, Erupts Biswas. And in fact, he had his moment in the Messi sun, while the fan who paid for this ticket of 5,000 rupees lost out. But attempts to gain political glory by leaders through sporting and other stars at the cost of fans is not uncommon, viewers. In June only this year, RCB won the IPL for the first time. Celebrations in Bengaluru were marred by a stampede that killed 11 fans and wounded 50 near the Chinnaswamy Stadium. Karnataka Congress leader and state's Deputy Chief Minister D.K. Shivkumar was there trying to shine in Virat Kohli's glory. Then in September this year, 41 fans of actor turned politician Vijay were killed in the Karur stampede. He came, he saw, and he left. We'll get you visuals of Karur stampede as well. The arrangements were terrible, and we can clearly see politics will continue unabated on what transpired in Kolkata today. But we ask tonight, viewers, Kolkata fans may get their money back, but who will pay for the hurt they feel? Should politicians be allowed to escape the responsibility for shaming brand India for a few more votes? That's something that we are going to be discussing tonight. And joining us on this debate are my guests. We have Sanju Verma, national spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party, Tushar Gupta, who is a political analyst, Ranjit Bajaj, director, Delhi FC, advocate Niladri Bhattacharya, who is a political analyst, and also, in fact, joining us on the broadcast today is Tehseen Poonawala, political analyst, and also joining him is Subrat Mukherjee, political analyst. Good evening to all of you. Thank you very much for joining us here on this debate. Advocate Niladri Bhattacharya, I want to ask you, such a huge event, we have a star, a global star like Messi coming to Kolkata, and what we see is complete mismanagement. Brand India has suffered a serious blot today. So I want to ask you, who is responsible?
Heena, I agree with you completely that today is a very shameful day for Bengal and for the whole of the country, because what has happened should not have happened in nowhere. Why not? Why in Calcutta? It should not have happened anywhere. But having said so, it is also a fact that it was an event organized by Shatadru Datta, and the event went out of control because the fans were angry that they were not being able to see Lionel Messi, because they say that we have not paid so much of money to see him on an LED screen. Given the fact that the program was for 1.5 hours, even the CM could not enter because Salt Lake Stadium, as you know, has a capacity of 90,000 to full chock block. And he was being surrounded by security guards, by people of other clubs, local football clubs.
Advocate Niladri Bhattacharya, are you trying to tell me and the viewers tonight and the people of this country that only one man was responsible for all the arrangements as far as this event is concerned? Only one man was responsible for the law and order situation in that stadium?
Ma'am, as far as this event is concerned, it is conducted by Shatadru Datta Initiative. He is the person who has gotten all the footballers to the country. As far as the law and order problem is concerned, the police initially, they took some time to react, but then they localized the incident and it was contained.
Sir, if it was a private event organized by one person, the organizer who is behind bars as we speak today, then I want to ask you, what was Mr. Erupts Biswas doing standing next to Lionel Messi?
Mr.
Last I checked, he was a minister in the West Bengal government. What was he doing there?
As a sports minister, he was invited officially to the program. as
So
the CM
Tehseen
was also
Poonawalla,
invited.
if he was invited, he also had his pictures on some of the tickets that were being sold.
That is an
And
AI-generated one.
people supporting TMC tonight are saying that
none
it
of
was
the
a
quotes.
private event. Sports Minister was just invited there. He was
Those
clicking
pictures are
selfies with
not
them.
pictures.
He was getting pictures with Messi, because of which the fans could not catch a glimpse of their God.
Ma'am, these pictures are not.
Tehseen Poonawalla.
Good evening. Thank you for having me at this show. And this is a terrible tragedy what happened in Kolkata. I'm glad that the event later on today went on in Hyderabad, where the chief minister played football with Messi, and fans have reported very positive reviews from Hyderabad. But look, the problem is this, all right? Any politician, you add a mix of sports or glamour and politics across lines. And let's be honest, if you're going to be very honest, politicians will go there for their glory. So you have the sports minister of TMC doing it. You had it in the IPL in Bangalore, and you've had it in other events that politicians will do that for glory. The question is, where does a private event end and where do politicians come in? Now, even if it's a private event, and Tushar will bear with me because I'm slightly right of center, the problem in India is that you can't organize an event without political patronage and political support across the board, okay? So the minute you need political support, you need police, you need them, politicians will throng in, their families will throng in, their hangars will throng in, their security will throng in, and then everyone's taking pictures, and those who've actually paid for it, the fans who deserve it, will never get a chance. So that is something. But I also think this is not a time for the BJP to do politics on it. The BJP should do constructive criticism. I'm just going to tell you two incidences in where there were stampedes and people lost their lives, 2024 and 2025, in Hathras and Mahakumbh. And the BJP spokesperson said, oh, this has happened. Don't do politics. People lost their lives. So I asked the BJP, if you don't want to do politics there where people actually lost their lives, then why are you doing politics here? Can we have a rule? Can we have a law? We've been asking for this. The BJP will get nothing in parliament. They will only do politics.
Okay. But I want to represent the people of this country here, and I want to ask you on behalf of the fans who had spent a lot of money, who traveled kilometers to just catch a glimpse of Lionel Messi, who is like a god in the world of football. And Sanju Verma, I mean, if politicians want to make it an event for their PR and for themselves, for their selfies, other politicians, other ministers in the government, celebs and other leaders, then why invite people at all? Why? Keep people out of it. Keep fans completely out of it. Let it be a private event. And why do we have picture of a minister, a sports minister from West Bengal on the tickets, who can be seen with Messi in that stadium? What was he doing there if it was a private event, Sanju Verma?
Heena,
as a fan, I'm disappointed today.
Yes. Heena, I'm sure all of us on the panel share your anguish and your angst. So do I. Without beating around the bush, let me cut to the chase. I've always maintained this. Despite ideological differences, let's agree on one thing. Politicians, the government of the day, they need to be held accountable. Very often on your channel, on your debates, I've been asked tough questions, and I've always maintained that. There's no getting away from the fact that if you are in power, you're in a position of authority, you need to be answerable. That's my first point. The second point is, forget about the fact for a minute. Let's keep this aside. Were fans disappointed? Yes. Were fans taken for a royal ride? Yes. Some of them came from almost 1,500 kilometers in Delhi. They went to Salt Lake Stadium. Some of them came from Darjeeling. I'm told 86% of the crowd at Salt Lake Stadium was from outside West Bengal. But that's not the moot point of discussion here. The moot point of discussion that I want to draw the attention of your viewers to is this. Even as bottles were being flung, chairs were being hurled, and vandalization was happening, what do we see? We see brazenly the sports minister in Mamata Banerjee's cabinet, a man called Erupts, shamelessly having selfies clicked with Lionel Messi. We see Sujit Bose, who's again another minister in the Mamata Banerjee cabinet. He has the portfolio of fire department an emergency department, and he was also busy going clickety-click, clicking selfies. So the first point is, why were there not proper arrangements? The second point is, assuming the arrangements were not prim and proper and the West Bengal government made a genuine mistake in terms of the crowd that had gathered. After the vandalization started, what was the need for ministers to continue to shamelessly and brazenly click selfies rather than ensuring that people were placated? And what does Mamata Banerjee say? Mamata Banerjee has appointed a committee under retired Judge Justice Ashim Ray. But as they say, you can't be the judge, the jury, and the executioner. And I was surprised, but I was not shocked to know that this retired Judge Ashim Ray actually holds a position in the Mamata Banerjee government. He's in charge of the Hill Affairs Department of Mamata Banerjee.
Well, we don't want to really get into the intentions behind that, because tonight the focus is on Lionel Messi. An event happened in Kolkata, which turned out to be a complete disaster. An event happened in Hyderabad as well, which turned out to be much better. There was no problem at all, no complaints at all. I know Advocate Niladri Bhattacharya wants to come in, but before that, I want to go across to Ranjit Bajaj. Ranjit Bajaj, you know, it's a very important point that we are discussing, because the world is watching. We are not talking about an ordinary person here. We're talking about Lionel Messi, who has come to India. And brand India has suffered a serious blot today. Who is responsible for that?
Heena, thank you so much for having me, and Times Now as well. See, I have a inside view on this, because we were lucky enough to be invited to the greatest of all time, like you said, God for all the football lovers, his Delhi event, because my under-15 team won the World Youth Championship and we beat Argentina in the final. So we're the first Indian team to do that, and we were invited.
Congratulations.
Now, thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. And that was making history. Imagine we didn't get anything from here, but him coming and appreciating that. We had the minute-to-minute program of each and every city, because they were going to give us Delhi's program. And ma'am, can you imagine that each and everything from the time he gets off from the plane till the time he gets off from the plane, even his lunch break, to how many people who get on the stage with him at each place, how many people can ask him for a selfie, how many people, in fact, there are people who paid him 95 lakh rupees for getting the right to have a selfie. So now you tell me, people say, oh my God, they're taking 10 lakhs or 20 lakhs or whatever. How do you think Messi's come here? Messi's come here because he's been paid tons of money. So how does that guy raise that money? That guy raises the money by doing all this. Now, is the police responsible for the state home department? Is the home department responsible for the police? Yes. Is the sports department under the state or the center? The state, yes. Who gave the permission for the stadium? The state. Who knew how many people are going to be there? The state. As you said, the ministers were all there. They should have known that the people who've come, 80,000 people, like you said, ma'am said, that they were almost from out of there. I even heard people coming all the way from Nagaland, Darjeeling, Bangalore. They were not there to see the ministers. They were there to see Messi. So that's what got them angry, that they paid 12,000 rupees not to see these government officials or these club officials or these committee members. They wanted to see their God. And they paid their hard-earned money to do that. And ma'am, 12,000 rupees for a normal Indian is a huge amount. Yes, I know 10 lakhs and 95 lakhs bhi diye, but wo bande, you know, they're big. But for a normal Indian, 12,000 rupees is your salary for the whole month gone for a normal boy. And there were kids who put their life savings because this was their biggest event of their life. They were, ma'am, in this event, it said that Messi was supposed to stay there for 2 hours in Calcutta. It said also that the only time he was supposed to stay in and meet someone was little kids who had been inviting for coaching clinics, like it was done there in Hyderabad, and it's going to be done in Delhi. And
so is the BJP then right in saying that TMC usurped the entire event for publicity, pre-election PR? Is that what you're saying?
So, ma'am, I don't understand how else is this not vote bank politics, because hijacking someone's event where Messi's there, they are not there to see you. You don't need to be on the stage. So not only here, ma'am, all politicians need to get off the stage. The stage is not for them. And it has been proven in Karnataka when it happened, even now. And they keep trying to pass the buck to each other. If they are there present, the sports minister or whoever the government, either they are not there.
Right.
If they are there, that means they're responsible.
Absolutely. Subrat Mukherjee, isn't that a valid point? I mean, fans were there. They also paid money to catch a glimpse of someone they love, someone they look up to. For some, it was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. They couldn't because there were some ministers there were celebs who were busy taking selfies with Messi. Isn't it injustice?
You see, vandalism in the football field is not uncommon both in Europe and in Latin America. And the first point that we should note here, that Messi did not come to play football here. That's the major reason for his popularity. He came as a celebrity who has already earned a lot of fame, and it is quite natural that for certain section of the people, they like to have a glimpse of him, and if possible, take a photograph or even talk to him. Now, the first problem is the magnitude of the problem. Indian cities, the stadiums and all are very small. And if you have seen that Calcutta Stadium is not exactly a very large place, and facilities there are bigger. The first question that I would like to raise is that why so many people tickets were sold? As I understand, it's organized by a private party. What was the relationship between the sports department and the private organizers? And the entire thing, of course, has ended in a fiasco, but there should have been a notification of, say, 2 hours' time. That time management in such a situation is very important. That was it taken into account? You see, mismanagement is part of Indian organization. Whether it's a Kumbh Mela or whatever else that we do, we are not a great organizer in India in most of the events.
So in that case, Tushar Gupta, we should stop doing such events completely. If we cannot conduct, such events properly, we should stop doing it. Mr. Mukherjee seemed to suggest that it's very common, but at least in other countries, they do get to see the players that they come to see. The fans do get to see the players of the match. Here, the fans were denied all of that.
And they also are freely available. You see, point in India is...
Mr. Mukherjee, that's for Tushar.
No, my simple understanding of the issue is that this was not an issue of crowd mismanagement alone. This was also an issue of crowd prioritization. If people have turned up to watch Lionel Messi, what is the point of the politicians being there? What is the point of the sports minister being there? What is the point of the VIPs being there? And to some extent, one can understand the agitated crowds. But ask yourself, Heena, what has changed in Kolkata between 1996, the World Cup semi-final, and 2025? Absolutely nothing. I mean, this entire event was supposed to be about the love for football of one city and one of the football greats. But it ended up being about VIPs hogging all the attention, leaving the crowds agitated. I do not care if someone pays 10 lakh for a selfie or 10,000 rupees to stand in the heat to just catch a glimpse of one of the stars of football. That's their prerogative. But the government shouldn't interfere in between. The government should be an enabler here for the crowd and for the footballer. But the government here was an obstruction. And you know what I find ironical? The moment you point this out on social media, that there was an issue that the government could have done better, there was a civic sense issue, they say, but we can't have everything in Gujarat. I don't know how it's being made about Gujarat even. I mean, in other parts of India, you've seen Coldplay concerts being hosted, you've seen World Cup finals being hosted, you've seen Donald Trump being hosted in one of the biggest stadiums in India. Did you face any problem? Right now, also, Messi is in Hyderabad. He's being hosted. There are politicians on the stage for their political brownie points. But at the end of the day, they are enablers. They're enablers for the crowd. Let people see what they want to see. Why is everything in Bengal about the TMC? Even an event about Messi somehow becomes about the TMC. This is where my problem with the arrangements are. And again, you can say that this was organized by ABC, anyone. If your sports minister was present at the event, the government cannot shake off responsibility. Either say we are not going to guarantee security for such events, we shake our hands off, the private security needs to take over, our ministers, our VIPs, our delegates won't be there. But if your ministers and your police is happy to manage it, then take responsibility.
Why does it become about TMC when it comes to West Bengal? There was a similar event of Messi in Hyderabad as well. It just concluded and people were very happy with the way they managed to catch a glimpse of the same, star that they wanted to see in Kolkata. Tehseen?
So, look, Hyderabad was fabulous. Kolkata was messed up. And Tushar is right. It should not be about Gujarat. Gujarat hosted the World Cup. I think it hosted 2 World Cups, Tushar, if I'm not right. Not a cricket fan, sorry. I'm going to get a lot of galleys on X. But they did a good job and that's fine. This is about India. Can we chill a bit and think about the common person? This is about India. Can we have a law in India that has SOPs for all sorts of crowded events on how there will be protocols, whether these are religious events, sports events, movie events, etc., and how you deal with it.
We figured out a way to manage these events after the Bengaluru incident.
Right?
We really thought that, after what happened, during that RCB's victory procession in Bengaluru, we thought we've learnt our lessons. After that Allu Arjun incident, I thought we learnt our lessons. After the Karur stampede, I thought we learnt our lessons as a country to manage the crowd. But unfortunately, we still haven't. I mean, are we waiting for more and more disasters? Are we waiting for more such incidents to take place? Like, when will we learn our lessons? If you're not capable, why invite such people?
So I think as a
Sanju, one second. Tehseen and then Sanju.
Yeah, just one line. As a general rule, and I don't know if people weigh on this, politicians keep out of it. Basically keep politicians out of it. And I think most of the problems will be solved. Keep this for fans and people who pay money. People who pay money have a right to be with the star, and fans. Keep politicians out of it. The minute politicians come, they come with hangers, they come with their entourage, they come with their relatives. So even if Messi has a contract, he'll take only 100 selfies. How is he going to say no to the sports minister and those who are hanging around? And then poor Bajaj out here and his team will not get the pictures. Okay. So it's not fair.
Okay, Sanju and then Advocate Niladri.
Thank you. I did not want to politicize this, but I heard Tehseen. His opening statement started by saying, Tehseen, can you please now wait for your turn? I did not interject. Okay. Show some courtesy. Thank you. Tehseen said, why is the BJP trying to politicize what happened in Kolkata today? So, Tehseen Punawala, let me say a couple of things. The date was January 19th, 2025. After winning the Champions Trophy, there was a huge felicitation ceremony at the Wankhede Stadium in Mumbai. It went off seamlessly. No incident reported, which could have put Mumbai to shame. Then let's not forget 25th and 26th January 2025. The Chris Martin Coldplay concert in Ahmedabad. Over 2 days, 3 lakh people attended the concert. And, Chris Martin was on record saying that this is not only his biggest concert, but he said that the, detailing with which the entire organization happened in ensuring that this concert was a success. He said this was unbelievable and he applauded the Gujarat government. So governments need not stay out. As Tushar said, governments need to be involved, but they need to be enablers. And I want to just remind Tehseen that the concert economy in India today is valued at 28,000 crore. Last year, it was nearly 12,000 crore. So the concert economy is booming because governments provide the facilitative ecosystem. Unfortunately, in the case of Mamata Banerjee, the attitude has been hua to hua.
Okay. It is the Advocate Niladri Bhattacharya wants to come in. Advocate Niladri Bhattacharya.
To counter Sanju Verma, I also agree with her that we should not politicize the issue. But then can she throw some light on where today, after this incident, what were the saffron flags doing at the stadium chanting Jai Shri Ram? This is the first thing. Second of all, it's a hats off to the Bengal police that without any loss of life or any serious injury, a catastrophe has been averted and everyone could safely go back home, given the condition the situation was today at the Salt Lake Stadium.
On the saffron flags, I will get Sanju to respond, but before that, Advocate Bhattacharya, one second. Are you then trying to say that the presence of Mr. Arup Biswas, the Minister of Sports in West Bengal, has got nothing to do with what happened with fans today in the stadium?
Definitely not.
He was not the reason that fans could catch a glimpse of Lionel Messi? Because this is not what we are saying. This is what fans have said. He said fans have said that Messi was constantly surrounded by leaders, by celebs, and that's the reason why they couldn't even catch a glimpse.
Messi was surrounded by the corporate pass holders at a huge rate of money.
And not the minister that our viewers can see right now on the screen. Sanju, quick rebuttal, and then Mr. Mukherjee. Okay, Sanju.
Okay. You know, I'm surprised at the walk priorities of the TMC empathizer. He says people were chanting Jai Shri Ram. I don't think that's the moot point here. The moot point is that law and order in the state subject. Did Mamata Banerjee fail? Yes. Did the TMC sports minister fail? Yes. Did the TMC fire and emergency department fail? Yes. And what is worse is that nobody is calling out the hua to hua, chalta hai attitude of a thoroughly incompetent Mamata Banerjee who's been fighting scapegoats.
Okay. Now, Mr. Subrat Mukherjee, you gave us the examples of what happens in other countries. I want to take you back to 1977. 48 years ago, on 24th September 1977, the greatest ever footballer, Pele, visited Kolkata. And, you know, similar scenes unfolded at that time as well in Kolkata. Even then, Union Sports Minister, some state ministers hijacked him. They created bigger chaos than fans there, and he was stuck inside the airport for 4 hours. What does it really say about West Bengal, about Kolkata, and our politicians, how they try to hijack such moments from fans?
The political culture of every state. You see, as I told you earlier, India is grossly uneven. And football mania in India is mainly Goa and West Bengal. Now, looking to the entire thing.
Is it people's problem or is it the politicians' problem? What should we fix, Mr. Mukherjee?
The governmental role was only indirect. And if a sports minister
I want to ask you a direct question. Is it people's problem or the politicians' problem that we need to fix?
What is the question?
Is it people's problem that India needs to fix or the politicians' problem that we need to fix?
Well, it's a hardly stated structure. And that is an unreformed state. Those are larger questions. If you want that to discuss with me, I can come some other time. It's an unfortunate thing, but not uncommon. Similar things are happening in India all the time.
But Tushar Gupta, you know, the minister could have actually asked all the corporate pass holders or other pass holders who were surrounding Messi to perhaps move aside a little bit, allow the fans to catch a glimpse. He could have done that. He didn't.
In fact, it's the opposite.
Tushar.
No, again, Mr. Bhattacharya said that we should be glad that the Kolkata police was able to avoid a disaster of unseen proportions. I think he's forgetting the same city has Eden Gardens. It hosts 125,000 people every single match. Every single match. It's no rocket science for the Kolkata police to manage such a crowd. Let's not pretend that this was, you know, once in a century kind of an event and police was not prepared and the government was not prepared. It was. They have a know-how of doing this. Let's stop, you know, pretending that this was something that they caught government off guard. My simple question is, again, in Hyderabad also, you know, already on social media, people are looking at the visuals and saying, you know, why do you need to have the chief minister on the pitch when people have turned out to watch Messi? It's always the politicians and VIPs in India hogging all the attention. Why can't they just sit in the crowd, let the players do their things, let the fans have their moment, and let everyone go home happy? Why does every single event, imagine, you know, if a politician gets on the stage on a Coldplay concert and starts singing, how foolish will that look?
Tehseen?
You know, think about it.
You know, you were right when you said that it is about India and we also plan to hold Commonwealth Games in 2030. My question is, what an image have we created?
Yeah, but look, the problem is deeper. We are a we are a state where the government controls everything. So even if a private organizer, and I have been in event management and I used to run restaurants. So when you do event management, you can't do it without bureaucrats, without government support. And the thing is that even if you're putting in your money, taking a risk, you have somebody who's talented, like say Ranjit Bajaj, who's got players, you've got somebody like Tushar, who's an entrepreneur. The problem with that is the state dominates you so much that you have to end up succumbing to bureaucrats, to politicians, to everybody, and you've got to follow the lead that they say. That is the problem. Everything, and they completely will make it about themselves. They will want free passes. It's police officers who want free passes. It's the bureaucrats who want free passes. It's the fire department that will want it. It's the politicians who want. So that's why I'm saying we need a central legislation to be enacted by states, all state governments, on how this works. That has to be the first starting point. Look, Gujarat did a good job. Hyderabad did a good job. But these are state specific. We need a national sort of law and organizing, followed by we need states to commit to their own sort of way of how to do it. And that should be in cognizance with the national policy.
Okay.
That's how we can do it. And again, keep politicians and bureaucrats out. The minute they come in, they want free passes, their relatives to come in, their chacha, their mama to come in, everybody come in.
Okay.
And all of it goes in a free passes.
Okay. I don't know when or if at all we will have a national policy or not. But, here my simple point is that here the minister had an opportunity to perhaps ask the pass holders to move aside a little bit when he saw even fans are getting a little, edgy. They're getting a little upset because they're not able to catch a glimpse of the person that they came to the stadium for. He could have just asked them to move aside a little bit, but he didn't do that. He was busy walking with him, basking in the glory, there. But last question to you, Ranjit Bajaj. You heard what all the people on the panel had to say. I want to ask you, in your opinion, were the fans at fault or the netas and the VIPs?
First of all, I would like to agree with Yasin when he says that they just need to be out of the game. So see, in a lawyers association, you don't find doctors. In doctors association, you don't find news people. Somehow in sports people association, there are no sports people, but other than that, everyone else. So what you saw on the field today, the number of footballers who were actually accompanying Messi were actually zero. And there were actually kids who were in the program who were waiting for Messi to fulfill their dream, and they could not fulfill their dream. So I would totally blame anyone who was on that field. Even the cops, anyone who was not a footballer who doesn't deserve to be there should be shamed. And it should be ashamed of himself for making us as Indian fans feel today ashamed of ourselves.
All right, we'll leave it there. Thank you very much, all of you, for joining us here on this debate. I'll just like to end by saying that netas should seriously stop using public like fodder. And, we'll of course be tracking it closely ahead as well, because Lionel Messi right now is on a 4-city tour to India. He's been to Kolkata, which turned out to be a disaster. His visit to Hyderabad was amazing. Of course, the other two cities, he's going to visit are going to be very, very important as well. For now, slipping into a very, very short break. Stay with us.